Good afternoon, Vikings. This is Mr. Phillips again. I know we had a tough day, especially in fourth period today with learning online, but one of the positives of this is that I'm able to create a video like this and everyone is able to view this as many times as you want, as fast and as slow as you want to help you get caught up. So even though we kind of lost some time in class, we had this video to help us out afterwards anyway, okay? So everyone should be let the digital math notebook labeled absolute value and opposites. This is located in Schoology under Unit 1, which started August 19th, which is today. Okay. All right. Our second slide, once again, just talks about some of our shortcuts and tools to use when it comes to undoing a mistake if something happens, drawing, adding shapes, or whatever we need to do, as well as our quick key shortcuts. Our warm up for today was, what do you notice about the following pair of numbers? So in our first number line, we had -3 and 3. Our second number line, we have 10 and -10. And on our third number line, we have -1 and 1. So some answers I heard today, I heard people say that they're the same number, 3 and a 3. Or some people go deeper into saying that one's positive, like this 3 is positive, this is a negative. -10 is negative, this is a positive. So it's always a positive and a negative number. I heard someone else notice that the 0 on all the number lines is circled. And then also heard someone say that the negative number and the positive number, they look to be about the same amount of spaces or distance away from 0. Okay? So that this one was 3 spaces away, this one's 3 spaces away, this one was 10, this is 10. All of that information is going to be very important for what we're focusing on today. Okay? Next is our learning intentions and our success criteria. Our learning intentions is an unnecessary big phrase for is our main goal. What is the main thing we want to learn? Success criteria is an unnecessary big phrase for just how do we know we learned our main big idea? How can I prove that I understand the big idea? So our big idea or our learning intention is to create and use a number line to find the difference between two integers in a mathematical real world situation. In short, can you use a number line to find the difference between two integers? The way we'll know we can do that is we can identify a number, its opposite, and its absolute value. This is our main focus for the unit in this video. Second is, can we use a number line to locate integers and their opposites? And last, discuss the distance from 0 to an integer. Okay? The way I know that I can complete this learning intention is I can show these 3 different things. If I can explain, demonstrate these 3, then I've mastered my goal for today. So, we use this in class to see how you're feeling. On the video, it's just me, so I have no idea how you're feeling right now. Okay, so some of our definitions. We are on slide 6 now. Okay, we're on slide 6. This is our key definitions, important vocabulary for today. Absolute value. Okay, absolute value is the distance a number is from 0 on a number line. Absolute value is the distance a number is from 0 on a number line. Absolute value is the distance a number is from 0 on the number line. Next is opposite. Opposite is a number that shares the same, you guessed it, distance. Distance from 0. Okay? So same 2 words, but 2 different definitions. Absolute value is a distance a number is from 0 on a number line, while the opposite is a number that shares the same distance from 0. So let's look at some examples to get a better understanding of this. So our first one, our guided practice. What is the opposite of -4? What is the opposite of -4? So I'm gonna give you a second to think about it. All right, so let's examine this. So when we look, we got -4 on here, okay? And my goal is to say, what would be the exact opposite? If I had to look in the mirror, what number would be the reflection of -4? It's probably got to be -3 because that looks different. It's not going to be 0 because that looks like a different number. The complete opposite would be 4. The way we describe this in class, sometimes we call it like the evil twin. If you looked in the mirror, you would see the complete opposite of you. In this example, the opposite of -4 would be a +4. Okay, so our answer is 4. The opposite of -4 is 4 because it is the same distance from 0. Same distance from 0. When I look at my number line, I can see that -4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away from 0. As well, therefore, 4 on the positive side is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away from 0. They're both 4 spaces away from 0, therefore they are the opposites of each other. Okay? Let's do another example together. What is the opposite of 9? What is the opposite of 9? I'm gonna give you a second to try to think about it, see if you can figure out the answer. So when we look, we see that 9 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces away from 0. So if I want the opposite of 9, I need something that's going to be 9 spaces away from 0 as well. 1 is only 1 space away from 0. 2 is 2 spaces away, 3, 4, and then it's 10 spaces away. It's too big. So anything smaller than 9 that's positive is not far enough away, but anything bigger than 9 is too far away. So let's go to our negatives. -1 is only 1 space away from 0. Okay. What about -5? -5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces away, so that's still too small. So let's jump up. What about -9? -9 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces away from 0, just like positive 9 is. So therefore, the opposite of positive 9 is -9 because it's a number that has the same distance from 0. So I'll drag this over here, bloop, drop it over there. So the opposite of 9 is -9 because it is the same distance from 0. Let's talk about that word distance really quick again. So what we notice when we counter this, and like the previous example as well with -4, we started from either -4 to 0, and we counted how many spaces away it was. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. 4 was 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away, so both of them were the same distance from 0. Notice, we didn't say that this one was -4 spaces away from 0. We didn't say the distance from 0 to -4 was -4 because there's no such thing as a negative distance. Let's think about this in real life. Have you ever drove a car a negative distance before? Has your mom or your dad or your uncle or aunt, grandma said, "Come on, baby, we're going to the store. It's about -10 miles from here, so we got to hurry up." No, you've never heard that before because that's impossible. As well, you never ran a negative mile before. Even if you decide to run backward, your teacher would look at you crazy and wait for you to fall down or run into something. But even if you ran backwards, you would still be running a positive distance, just slower and backwards in a more dangerous way. So therefore, what we see from both of these examples is that when we look at the distance, we saw that even for measuring towards the positive numbers or the negative numbers, realize that the distance, okay, the distance from 0 to that number is always a positive number. Okay, moving on, I'm going to let you guys work on these practice problems on your own. In class, we will go over them, okay, to make sure you got them. So I'm going to skip past that one, skip past the how you feeling, because once again, no one's here to tell me how they feel. I'm just all alone. No one cares about Mr. Fields. Sad face, sad face. Okay, next, you should be on slide 11. On slide 11. On slide 11, we're going to talk about what is the absolute value of -4. Let's go back to our definition for absolute value. It's going to be way back on slide number 6. Excuse me. We said absolute value is the distance. Okay, remember we just said about distance with flying and running. The distance a number is from 0 on a number line. The distance a number is from 0 on a number line. So let's go back down to the slide. And let's try to figure out what is the absolute value of -4. You can think about it like this. How many spaces away from 0 is -4? How many spaces away from 0 is -4? So I'll give you a second to think about it. So when I count, I say that -4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away from 0. So the absolute value of -4 is 4. Why is it not why is it not -4? Because once again, we're measuring the distance here. We're not saying that it's at -4, so it has to be -4. We're saying how far away is it? I'd have to travel 4 spaces to get to 0 from -4. Or I had to travel 4 spaces from 0 to get to -4. So the absolute value of -4 is 4 because it is the distance -4 is from 0. The distance -4 is from 0. Okay, let's look at another example. What is the absolute value of 3? Or we can think about it like this. How many spaces away from 0 is 3? When we look, we can see it is 1, 2, 3 spaces away. So the absolute value is 3. The absolute value of 3, therefore, is 3 because that is the distance. 3 is from 0. So when we looked at the absolute value of 3, a positive number, absolute value was 3. When we looked at the absolute value of -4, we realized absolute value was +4. So when we look at the absolute value, we notice something, and this is our key phrase for today. This is our big idea. Absolute value is always positivo, positive. Okay. Oops, that's positively spelled wrong. Okay. Absolute value is always, 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 always positive. Okay. Every single time. So let's do a few examples together. We're going to do just 2 examples here, and you guys can do the rest. What is the absolute value of -62? So, like we said before, we're trying to think how many spaces away from 0 is -62? If we think about how many spaces away, that means we're measuring the distance. And we know distance is always positive, so therefore the absolute value of -62 is 62. Okay, let's look at another one. What is the absolute value of -3? And these lines here simply is the mathematical way of demonstrating absolute value. People don't want to write down absolute value every single time. They just make these lines. This is saying what is the absolute value of the number inside of parentheses. So in this case, the absolute value is equal to 3 because -3 is 3 spaces away from 0, or the distance from 0 to -3 is 3. Okay, in class, we'll talk about these two together tomorrow. And I think that will about do it. Okay, on this definition slide, you can go and find the definition and notes we just went over. You can type your own example and your own non-example, and then you can draw your own picture. Feel free to be as creative as you want to be with that, as well as your definition for absolute value. All of this information is your notes, so you can get this done on your own. The exit ticket we are going to do in class, but if you want to finish it in advance, I will never stop you. You can always go ahead of me if you want to. Okay. Hope you're feeling okay now. Hope this helps a little bit. Hope when everybody comes tomorrow, they'll have 4s, and hopefully everything works perfectly on the internet. All right. Ciao. Avida. Hasta luego. I will see you all tomorrow or Friday, depending on which class you are. Take care. Go Vikings.